Hello, my name is Grin, and this is my beard. I've got some crumbs in my beard today, but I've been away because I've just been not feeling well, been kind of sick, not doing videos. That's kind of the first thing that's going to get relaxed or reduced when I'm not feeling well is these videos, since it's only for my health that I even do these videos. So if it's going to be a hassle, it's not for my health anymore, and that's going to be why I'm not going to do it. It's not really big right now. I'm still in my Sakai, previous video, so I'm not supposed to really focus on anything of my own accord. I can join projects and whatnot, but I'm not supposed to do anything of my own according to my fortune, which I'm not too keen on. But since my wife is, whatever. However, so I've had some weird health problems. I don't know what it is, and I've gone to test like my blood sugar level and see if maybe that might be it or something else. I don't know what's wrong. I'll get my results tomorrow, and I don't think it's a problem. It's called an A1C test. It's supposed to test your blood sugar level average over 3 months and see if that's what's causing it. But might just be something to do with my all my weird, um, not allergies, just intolerances to different kinds of foods and stuff like that. Not really sure yet, but it really causes me to have lots of lethargy, just not feeling well overall in general. My head gets spinny. It's not good. I don't know what it is. We'll see. However, it could have something to do with my eye twitching. Lately, my right eye has just been twitching like crazy, and I don't know what it is. Try to get more sleep, nothing changes. Stop drinking caffeine, nothing changes. I don't really know what's causing it, but it's obviously a nervous type of thing, and something to do with my nerves. And I was thinking maybe it has something to do with my neck or my head. I haven't said anything about this now, but I guess I could now. I had brain surgery when I was much younger. I ended up getting into a fight and hit my head on some concrete in the fight, which caused a brain hemorrhage, which is where a blood vessel in the brain breaks and starts bleeding onto the brain. Now, this is a uh, what do we want to call it? Subdermal or subcranial hematoma, which is okay. The dural hematoma, subdural hematoma. The dura is the like film or something that surrounds the brain, and it's like the stuff in between the brain and the skull. And so this bleeding was in between that dura and the skull itself, causing it to detach from the skull. Sorry, this is in the way the camera, the microphone. But it's apparently one of the most painful types of uh, injuries you can have. One of there's many really painful, and I have to admit that it was extremely painful at the time. Uh, the bleeding caused lots of weird effects. Like I felt like I was underwater. I couldn't really hear very well. My vision had, I don't know, just gone. My frontal vision was gone. I couldn't see anything that was directly in front of me. I could only see things out in the peripheral area. So if I wanted to look at you, I had to look at you like this at the time, and didn't know exactly what was wrong, just extreme pain. Now, the brain itself doesn't have pain receptors. So the fact that I was having pain means it's not, a brain injury per se, but the dura, just above the dura, and in the cranium itself, the skull itself, there's a lot of pain receptors there. In fact, way more than normal. That's why when you hit your head, it hurts so much. So yeah, it was extremely painful, and I managed to get to the hospital in time. They shipped me to a specialist brain hospital, and I was worked on by a premier brain specialist, Joseph M. Zabramski. Uh, Now, when when this happened, I was I was in the hospital, and they came to me and they said, "Okay, so we've got the scans and we know what's wrong. You've got bleeding in between the brain and the skull." They told me what it was. I think it was a subdural hematoma. Okay, and they gave me an option. They said, "Well, at this point, the bleeding has stopped, so we can just leave it, and maybe your body will get better, or we can do surgery, which would open up the skull. We'd cauterize the artery and clean out the blood, and then put it back." So I said, okay, so those are my two options. First option, leaving it, doing nothing. What are my chances of not having any problems? And doctor kind of looks at me and says, 50-50. Like, oh, okay. So how about if I did the surgery? What are my chances of not having any complications or problems after that? 50-50. So I had a 50-50 chance either way. And I decided doing something is probably better than doing nothing, usually in most cases. So I decided to go ahead and do the surgery. And it went off pretty well. I woke up about 8 hours after the surgery and just hurled some stuff from my stomach that I had in there from past lives and whatnot. I don't know. It just kept coming out. But then the nurse came over to clean up my mess, and I was just like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make a mess. I'm so sorry. You have to clean up after me." She's like, "No, it's okay. You're why you're awake. You're lucid. We're happy about that. Puke all you like." I was like, "Oh, thank you." Went back to sleep. Had stitches in the back of my head for a while. Not stitches, staples. And the staples were horrible. I lived in Arizona, and so it's hot there, right? So when I finally did go home, we didn't have an air conditioner. We had a what's called a swamp cooler. It's where you have this box that has pads that you get them wet, and it sucks in air through the pads using the water to cool the air down. But if it's already humid, it doesn't do anything for you. If there's already a lot of moisture in the air, it doesn't cool the air down. So it was during monsoon season when I had this, and this bloody stapled mess in the back of my head, brain surgery, laying in my bed sweating, and the sweat's just going into the yeah into the what operated area. It was not pleasant for a few months. When, at any rate, they were surprised that I had no adverse effects afterwards. My vision came back, my hearing came back, everything kind of came back. So, as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with me that I know of. So, but it's one of those things. You had surgery when you get older that can like come back on you. Like you had surgery on your knee and then you're fine, but as you get older, suddenly your knee starts bothering you a whole bunch. So maybe that kind of thing. I'm thinking maybe that's what's happening, and it causes headaches. So when I have these problems, I have a really bad headache and whatnot, and I've got the eye twitching, which could be a nervous problem. Maybe don't know, but I haven't seen a brain doctor yet. So first, I'm going to go for what's NICA, and do uh, just some blood work and stuff like that to see if it might be something simple. My father, who God bless him, he looks like Santa Claus. He's like Picture the whole Coca-Cola Santa Claus, you know, chubby guy with the really long white beard and the whole works. He looks just like that, except he wears a cowboy hat mostly. So yeah, he has Tonyobio, which is what is Tonyobio? It's um, diabetes. He has diabetes. He wasn't born with it. He ended up having it later. So there's a possibility I might have that as well. So I'm uh, doing some testing. Last when I had my health check that I talked about in the previous video, and oh yeah, also the health lady came here to talk to me and my wife. So I want to talk about that. But when I had my health check, my AC1 level was zero point 0.1 or 0.2%, zero point 0.2 points, zero point 0.2 points higher than normal, which is basically to say like, hey, you're basically normal. But there's a possibility that I might be what's called pre-diabetic. So I went for another AC1 A1C, sorry, A1C test, and I'll know very soon what the results of that were once I go back to the NICA doctor and have a moment to do that. So I'm dealing with that now. Let me talk about the shaksho, the city hall lady who came to talk about my health and basically said pretty much the same. She asked some questions. You know, what's my current weight? She checked my waist size, and yeah, I got a bit of a belly. It's grown 5 centimeters since the last time, and I'm thinking, you know, that's kind of strange. I don't. I do feel like it's bigger, but it's not. It feels more like I'm bloated. Like maybe that is the thing. Maybe it's because I ate something that my body doesn't like, and since lately it seems like there's everything that I can't eat that I used to love. Like if I can't eat ramen, oh, I loved ramen. I want some miso chashu, but I can't eat that stuff because if I do, it just makes me bloated and it just feels uncomfortable. I used to eat so much ramen. It used to be my favorite. All the things that I enjoy, I can't really eat anymore. Like I was talking about having a Starbucks Frappuccino in my last video, and that's what kind of really kicked this whole thing off. When I drank that Frappuccino, that's when I started feeling really bad, and I've been feeling bad like that for a week now. I felt like I was just intoxicated with maybe it was just too much sugar. I don't know. So that's why I went to get the A1C test. And so when I said this video is brought to you by Frappuccino because I love them, I freaking love them. But come to find out, everything I love ends up being something that I can't enjoy anymore. It's like my body is telling me more moderation is what you need. By more moderation, it means zero. Yeah, no more enjoying the things that I enjoy. So, great. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like beside myself, like, what the hell should I do? I can't drink alcohol. I used to love drinking beer. I love beer. I can't drink beer. I can't eat ramen. I freaking love ramen. I can't eat ramen. I can't drink a frappuccino without having some sort of a problem. I don't know what the heck is wrong with my body, and neither do the doctors. I'm a mutant of uh, difficult variety. I don't know. Probably because I'm a foreigner and the problems that I have are not something that are common here in Japan. Yeah. Now, I do have other stories too that don't have to do with my health. However, the problem is that some of these stories I have to be extremely careful about. See, here in Japan, we have free speech, so to speak. You can say whatever you want, but not about somebody. Like, I can't tell you something that somebody did if it means that it will make you think unfavorably of them, because that's liability. Even if it's true, even if it's true, unless it's public knowledge, I'm not allowed to divulge any of that information because it's considered liability, even if it's true. I can't, you know, divulge that information in a public forum unless it has already been publicized, like through the law, like they went to a court. Then I could say that person went to a court under suspicion of whatever. Um, but if it hadn't already been publicized, I wouldn't be able to say it. So I have to be very careful about the stories that I tell about people that I met and whatnot, because if any of that can come back on them, that can come back on me, and yeah, that's a problem. See, in the States, you could say whatever you want. If it's true, it's not liability. But here in Japan, you can say whatever you want as long as it's not about somebody. Unless it's good. Anything that can be considered detrimental to their uh, image is considered liability, even if it's true. However, like I said, if it's already public information, then you can talk about it. But if it's not, you can't. Not allowed to say anything. So, got to be very careful about that. If you come to Japan, you can't just go around saying somebody did something. Like, for instance, give me an example. Let's say you're at an apartment complex, and I don't know, your next door neighbor is throwing their trash over the edge of their balcony onto the ground. Uh, I wouldn't, and let's say I went to the landlord or went to the police and they didn't do anything about it. I wouldn't be able to like record that and upload it to the internet and say this guy is doing this thing. I wouldn't be able to do that because it's not. It's that would be considered liability. I would have to go through the police and whatnot. And if that person did get, a citation or arrested for littering or whatever, then I would be able to post it, but not until then. So that's how the law works here. Not allowed to like publicly announce things, even if they're true, uh, until the uh, government authorities have established that it is a thing. And usually, when they do, it becomes a public thing. It becomes everybody knows about it. So that's kind of some of my stories I have to be very careful about. uh, and I realized that after I talked about Machan, hopefully, none of that uh, can ever get back on him. He's a great guy, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. But things we kind of did things that maybe you shouldn't do. It's fine. I mean, also talking about Yakuza, as long as I don't say names, I guess it's fine. And since the person that I'm talking about right now, his name isn't Machan, I guess it's okay, but I need to be more careful. And I realize that now. So just need you to be aware of that. And I've kind of reevaluated the things that I can talk about and the things that I can't talk about. So that took some time. Yeah, there's the laws in Japan are a bit different than the laws in the United States, obviously. I wouldn't say that I feel less safe here, though. I feel like I'm even more safe. Like there's people, you can't go around saying things about people, uh, even if it's true, to a public in public. You got to keep that private. If somebody did something bad, I could go to the police and tell them everything, but I could not put it on YouTube or on a TikTok video or anything like that. If I recorded somebody doing something bad, I would not be able to put that up on the internet. I'd be able to take that and show it to the police, but I would not be able to put that up on the internet for people to see. So, I have to be careful. And that's why it's also difficult or important to be careful when you're out there recording videos in Japan. You can't just record anything. And if you recorded something that could make somebody look bad, uh, don't post it. that's against the law in Japan, or yeah, liability law. You would be liable for ruining somebody's reputation, even if it's true. Be careful. Anyways, so that's that. Things that have been going around in my beard and sloshing around up in the whiskers there. Uh, I wanted to do more. I wanted to actually like work on the whole grins beard. What am I trying to say and stuff like that? But I was thinking, you know what? Right now is not the good time. I'm just gonna do what I can for now, and in a year and a half or so, when my Sakai is done, if it's still something that people care about, then I'll do something more about it. But for now, it's just kind of for me as a way to improve my ability to talk in front of a camera without getting stuck or having to rely on notes. I don't have any notes. I don't. This is all stuff that comes straight out of my brain as I'm doing it. I don't want to have to rely on something because then I'd have to write it. And if I start writing it, then I'm going to have to care about what I'm writing and whatnot. And I don't want to do all of that work. I've done YouTube videos before and spent hours and hours and hours on editing and whatnot. And it's not worth it, especially considering I'm not getting paid for it. So I'm just going to do what I can do easy, quick, and fun. And if at any point someday I start, earning money from it, then maybe I'll think seriously about it. But right now it's just not serious at all. At all. This whole video series is all a big joke. It's just a joke. Hope you laugh. Mini haha. Oh, maybe not a joke. I could be a joke. I could make it into a joke. I don't have any good jokes. There's not really many Japanese jokes in Japan. For Japanese jokes, you got oyaji gyagu. Uh, I have never heard a good just like story joke in Japan with like a punchline and all that kind of stuff. The closest thing that I had to that was this oyaji gyagu is where you tell somebody to pick three vegetables, any vegetables, any three vegetables. Now, in English, vegetable is yasai. In English, in Japanese, vegetable is yasai. All right. Now, one of the most popular drinks in Japan is kind of like a ginger ale cider type of drink called Mitsuya cider. All right. Maybe you know where I'm going with this. Um, Now, you tell somebody to pick three vegetables, sanko or mitsu. Mitsu is three. And whatever they pick, you say, all right, you put that into a blender and you make a drink. Now you got to name this drink. What's the name of this drink? Most people will say, like, yasai juice or something like that. And you say, no, 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 no. It's mitsu yasaida. Now, that comes down to mitsu, three, yasai, vegetable, da, meaning dayo or zetai. It's very, this is it. That's what it is. So Mitsuya Saida. And Mitsuya Cider, Mitsuya Saida is a drink. So ha ha ha. Yes. That's how you make Mitsuya Saida. I don't know. It's a oyaji gyagu. It's funny in Japanese, maybe, but not so funny in English, especially when I have to explain it to you. But that's the extent of kind of like the Japanese humor that I'm used to hearing. It's not like, oh yeah, yeah. It's more like a ah yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't even think of any good jokes right now. Man, most of my see, I'm a father now and I've got kids, so I've got a lot of dad jokes. Stupid stuff too, like a kid comes up and says, "I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm dad." That's a dad joke. That's a total dad joke. But um, yeah, I'm not big on jokes. I think everything's funny anyways. Just looking at stuff is like funny. I'm always in a trip like, haha, that's hilarious. What's so funny about it? That's hilarious too. The fact that you got all serious all of a sudden. That's pretty hilarious. I just I'm sorry. Let me just. All right, we're better now. We don't have to worry about that. It's just a joke. So this is how I'm coping with my problems. Trying to be light about it. Back to the whole don't take life too seriously or life will seriously take you. Yeah, I think that's got to be what I need to live by. Keep remembering that, Gren. Don't take life too seriously or it will seriously take you. I don't have anything else to say. I think that's what's in my beard today. Just been dealing with my health problems and hopefully I'll get better and I'll make videos when I can and it doesn't become a problem. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, yeah, I got an idea. Here's my idea. So if you have any questions about Japan or in Japan or just anything that interests you, put it in a comment and then I'll try and like think about it and maybe talk about it or something, whatever I can. Just give me a reason, another reason to like pull crumbs out of my beard and throw them at the camera screen. All right, please. Any questions about Japan, what it's like living in Japan, or anything of that nature, send them my way. Thanks. See ya.